My grandmother sent me to Savannah State for two reasons. She sent me to get a degree and to go play in the NFL. And those were going to happen. I didn't know which order they were going to happen, but they were going to happen. And from the time I was 12 years old and I told her I was going to move her out of that house that leaked and didn't have any central heating and cooling, didn't have air conditioning, didn't have paneling. We had cement floors and cinder block walls. The time I told my mom I was going to buy a Mercedes, those were the things that drove me. The draft was 12 rounds when I came out in 1990. And I remember thinking, I had projections that I was going to go somewhere between round 1 and 3. And considering I hadn't talked to a whole lot of people, I really thought that round 1 was off the table. But I thought I was good enough to be a second or third round draft pick. And when that didn't happen, I just remember going to bed that night, that Sunday night. I was up in South Carolina with my brother. And I remember him walking in the room and telling me that we're going to be okay. I said, I went to the combine and I went to a lot of all-star games. And I said, there's not one guy that's a receiver or tight end that's better than I am. I'm better than those guys. I know I am. And he's like, all right, just sleep. Don't even worry about it. And I remember waking up the next morning. I was like, man, let's go just grab a workout. And so we went to the University of South Carolina and we were working out. I was lifting and someone said, Shannon, telephone. And I remember thinking to myself, I asked my brother, like, well, who knows I'm here? And I picked up the phone and it was the Broncos. And they said, we selected you in the 7th round. And they said, are you excited? I said, I'm very excited. I said, I can't wait to get there and show you what I got. And finished my workout. I had a plane ticket waiting for me at the airport and I flew out to Denver and I was on the board for the last cut. And a coach of mine came to me and he told me, he said, Shannon, I'm not supposed to share this with you, but your name is on the board for being one of the final cuts. And he says, I just think you should go out there and give it your all tonight, because not only are you playing to try to make this team, everybody else is going to get the tape of this game and they're going to be watching it, so maybe you can flash something and someone else will pick you up if we release you. I remember driving to the stadium and it started to rain. And I'm thinking to myself, it's raining. We're not going to throw the football. I'm a receiver. How can I show what I can do if it's raining? And as the rain started to build, I knew I was going to be on special teams, and I knew I was going to probably play late in the ball game, probably the fourth quarters after the starters came out. And I needed the flash, and made a couple plays on special teams. I got in the ball game on offense, and I was cutting everything. Every DB that got close to me, I cut him. And I just remember thinking, did I do enough? When I came over to work the next day and coach told me that my name was off the board, I remember thinking, and it stuck with me every day. I said, I need to go to practice every single day and give them one reason to keep me. Because in that game, that preseason game, I gave the Broncos one reason to keep me. I hustled. So I went from being a 7th round draft pick to barely making the team, to playing special teams, to going to 8 Pro Bowls, 4 first-team All-Pros, 3 Super Bowls, and going to the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't trade that experience for anything because I think it helped shape the person that I became, and I know it definitely made me the player that I became. Shannon Sharpe, I'm out.